Okay, so uh, believe it or not, I just did a video that was talking about some rezoning that was happening, and in order to get people out, get these smoke shops out of the downtown area, they don't want vape, they don't want smoke shops, they don't want any of that stuff down in the downtown areas or in the tourist areas or whatever. And of course, it's under the guise of for the kids, for the kids. Oh God, our children, we have to protect them. Well, again, if you have a retailer who is responsible, you don't even let those kids in. Okay, it's a 21 and over crowd. Okay, maybe we don't have things that anybody under 21 can even buy in there, so there's no need for the kids to be in there in the first place, right? But again, we send an 18, 19-year-old boy or girl off to war and they can be killed, but they can't have a vape or buy a pack of cigarettes, or we could let them pillage and plunder all over the world and kill in the name of our society, but don't have a vape, kid, nor beer, no beer. But do your own research about that. This is all their doings, not Chad's. The rules are the rules. Well, so anyway, in Texas, this little city is proposing another ordinance against these smoke shops. Apparently, there's already 10 of them there, and they want to lessen the impact of vaping and Delta products and all of this by rezoning and moving them out of the city limits into the county. And apparently, it's not going to affect the 10 that are in there. So I guess it's to stop new ones from coming in. But let's look at it. And this is coming, from an NBC affiliate, and they're in Denison apparently. And they go on to talk about this, and they're saying the health hazards and ease of accessibility for our youth, the kids, is top of mind, says Mary Tate, the City of Denison Director of Development Services. Tell the truth, Mary, you just don't want to have so many smoke shops, or God forbid, you got to really say, I don't want the usual suspects in my city. This is Texas, and the only Americans are supposed to be here. Forget the fact that maybe some of them have been here 30, 40, 50 years. Forget it. It is what it is, okay? In the city of Denison, there are 10 smoke shops, including 33 liquor and convenience stores that sell vape and tobacco products. Well, they just quit issuing tobacco license. I can fix it. Stop. Let's stop. Stop issuing tobacco license. I can fix it for you in seconds. Stop issuing them. Right now, they're permitted in all zoning districts. Tate goes on to tell you, with no rules or ordinances. Well, there's some rules and ordinances. You can't sell it to anybody under 21, and apparently some of them are, but whatever. We're trying to figure out what kind of regulations we may need to put in place to make sure the public health and safety risk is diminished, said Tate. Okay, everybody. So from time to time, I get asked about, hey, man, where should I get my cases? And do you know anybody? As a matter of fact, I do. So on my last live, we talked about it. I showed you, a one page, and it gave you a Chad Wade 5 would give you 5% off. And so I've got some more examples like these and these. How about this? And don't forget the oldie but a goodie, this. And I get these from Displayarama, and I like this company a whole lot. Family owned, and they got it going on. Don't forget, use the code ChadWade5, and get 5% off your total order. And I'm guessing you could use that multiple times, but order it all at once so that you can get it all at once for that 5% off. They'll even ship that all the way from Florida, Hollywood, Florida, as a matter of fact, straight to your front door of wherever you want it to go. This is a group you can depend on, and hopefully you will. So hit them up. I think it's displayarama.com, and check it out. They get my seal of approval. I bet you ain't got no problem issuing McDonald's, and Burger King and Wendy's. I bet you give them a license, but that's your real health issue there, It is what it is, though. Staff presented the city council with two possible options: completely ban the shops within city limits, require conditional use permits for smoke shops in certain zoning locations. Again, it's real simple. Just don't issue a tobacco license, no nicotine license, no vape license. It is what it is. Or you could do one of these two things. The council agreed that staff should look into zoning ordinances instead of banning smoke shops altogether. Exactly, because the state wants that tax money from the nicotine. Hello. For example, this could mean not allowing a smoke shop to be within 1,000 feet of a school or church or similar liquor store regulation. We have that here in Louisville. And so we know that's already, that'll probably be where this goes, in all honesty, which means that, it's going to be really hard to find in the city limits. Being more mindful as far as where the business is, what kind of things are close by, whether it's a school, a daycare, things like that. And I think that their day-to-day operations should consider those things. This is a resident talking there. If regulations are put in place, none of the smoke shops currently in operations would have to shut down. Of course not, because it would violate their lease, and the city might have to pay for that, pay those leases out. And that's the honest to God facts. Plus, you'd have to relocate these businesses because you put them in dire harm with their business loans, with their day-to-day operations, having to reestablish. There's a whole problem that's going to happen there, because it's going to be a class action lawsuit against that city. They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They have attorneys who've already told them, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. They already know what's going to happen if that happens. We're just trying to hone in on what's the best practice for this city. Stop issuing those licenses. It's pretty simple. Denison Police Chief Mike here also spoke at the meeting, saying that they've noticed an increase in the number of people under 21 in possession of vapes. So I can tell you how to fix that. That's pretty simple. If you get caught possession of alcohol, you get you get a trip downtown, for starters, if you're intoxicated. And maybe you have the cop, out of the goodness of his heart, he pours it out, or he confiscates it. And I know how that's going to go. Really, he's going to end up with it at the end of the night or whatever. And then off you go. Or it's possession underage. You got to appear before court. You pay a fine. You do community service, whatever it is. The judge maybe has a little mercy on you and says, hey, Joe or Jane, don't do that again, or we're going to have to charge you with it. And that would be very ugly for you. Then you know that what you're going to do, what happens if you do. And they're not doing that. They're just saying they've noticed an increase. What are you doing about it, though, Chief? What are you doing about it? Are you charging them with it? Is there a law against it, or is there not? Because if there is, enforce the law. That's your job. Write them a ticket. Do whatever you got to do. Appear in court. Make them pay. All right? It is what it is. But until we start holding people accountable, this will continue to happen. If the retailer is responsible for selling these things to underage people, hold them accountable. Pretty simple. While this was just the beginning of the discussion, many taxpayers in the city agree that some kind of rules should be put into place. Well, Dennison's not a big monster city, so you've already got that many places selling it. Jeez, quit selling tobacco license. That would give them peace of mind knowing that the businesses had to go through the process, and it just kind of gives the peace of mind trusting what products they are offering. Said these people. Oof. Well, it, again, pretty simple to fix. Didn't have to have an article. Didn't really need to have a meeting. If we really felt like that this was going on, we just discontinue any kind of tobacco license within the city. And it is what it is. We're not opening anything new. This is the way we're doing it. But then they're going to claim, well, if you do that, you're limiting the amount of businesses that can be here, what a business can offer, blah blah blah. Yes, as a matter of fact, you are, because you're already doing it. And if well, excuse me, I'm sorry. If the gas stations are already carrying most of everything the smoke shops are selling, they're already cutting up the money. It sounds to me like 43 ways. So that's not leaving a whole lot of money. But of course, the gas stations probably aren't selling a god awful amount of THC product or Delta products or whatever it is. They're probably not selling those mushroom products like that. Maybe some are. Some of the usual suspects are, I promise you. But that's the real deal here is they're probably going to end up enforcing those rules. They're going to cut them out of the city limits, move them out into the county, which is that's an option. But why are we cutting up the money even that further? Because people living in the county are going to go to those, and they're going to stop coming in town. It is what it is. Do your homework, boys and girls. Always check it and do your own research. I'm going to put the article here. It will be in the description. Please check it out. Tell me what you think. How would you fix it? If is your city run over with it? Are you finding that there's just too much competition? If you're a retailer, which I know most of you are, and if you are seeing that, what would you do to alleviate that issue from more and more and more and more and more popping up? Here in Louisville, we have what's jokingly called Smoke Shop Row, and it's because there's just so many up and down the row. It don't even make sense. Okay. Hopefully you can check into it and tell me what you think. Let me know. I'll be waiting on you. But it's pretty simple. Just quit issuing tobacco license. Hold the retailer accountable. Hold the individual accountable. It's how America was formed.